Welcome dear friends. So today we are going to discuss about the classroom. Before going to discuss about this, please subscribe to my channel to see the new upcoming videos. So in our previous class we have discussed about the caudate nucleus and the lentiform nucleus. Together we can call it as the corpus striatum, means the head of the caudate nucleus and the part of the lentiform nucleus, that is a part of lentiform nucleus called as putamen, and they call it as the corpus striatum. And the second thing we are going to discuss is the claustrum. So before going to see the claustrum, you need to remember the structures, how they are present intact. So here we have the medial surface of the cerebral hemisphere, and here you can identify the corpus callosum over here. And then if you just come from above to downwards, here you can see the olfactory tract, and this olfactory tract, it is going to divide into medial and lateral olfactory striae. Between the two olfactory striae, we can identify this perforated substance called as anterior perforated substance. So, to see the claustrum exactly, we need to take a coronal section, or sorry, in the coronal section also we can identify some part of the claustrum, and in the transverse section, you can identify clearly the claustrum. So this is how we are going to take a section of the cerebral hemisphere, and we are removing the upper part and observing the lower part. Yes, got it. So we have separated the upper part of right cerebral hemisphere, and we are observing the lower part from superior aspect. Then the claustrum, which we can identify what is exactly the claustrum is. It is a thin sheet of gray matter. It is a thin sheet of gray matter which intervenes between the putamen of the lentiform nucleus and the insular cortex. Got it? So claustrum is a thin sheet of gray matter which is present between putamen of lentiform nucleus medially, laterally insular cortex. Okay, so that is about the claustrum, and this claustrum is separated from the putamen of lentiform nucleus by a white matter called as external capsule. Okay, external capsule. So this white color one is the white matter is called as external capsule, whereas the claustrum is separated from the insular cortex by another white matter. That part is called as extreme capsule. Extreme capsule. So that is about, here you can identify the claustrum, that is external capsule, and this is extreme capsule. So to show you the insular cortex once again, we have to separate, pull apart this lateral fissure, sylvian fissure. We can identify the hidden part of the cerebral cortex, hidden cerebral cortex called as insular cortex. Okay, so that is how we can identify the claustrum. Okay, then we are going to see the amygdaloid body. Amygdaloid body is also called as archistriatum. Archistriatum. It is apparently continuous. It is apparently continuous with the tail of the caudate nucleus, but it is entirely a distinct structure and connected with the limbic system. Connected with limbic system. What is limbic system? We will let you know shortly. Right? Then moving to the subthalamic nucleus. So the subthalamic nucleus, it is also called as ventral thalamus. Ventral thalamus. Here you can identify the subthalamic nucleus. It is also called as ventral thalamus, or the body of Lewis. Body of Lewis. Then it is a biconvex mass of gray matter which lies lateral to the hypothalamus. Here you can identify the thalamus, and here you can see the hypothalamus, lateral to the hypothalamus, and intervenes between internal capsule ventrolaterally. I will show you another diagram to find out that clearly. Yes, here you can identify the subthalamic nucleus. Here you can see the subthalamic nucleus, and so it is intervenes between It is present lateral to the hypothalamus and intervenes between internal capsule. This is nothing but internal capsule, and it is present ventrolaterally. This internal capsule is present ventrolaterally. So this is the subthalamic nucleus. Ventrolaterally, we can identify the internal capsule, and dorsomedially, it is related to the ventral nucleus of thalamus. Ventral nucleus of thalamus. So ventrolaterally, dorsomedial relation of the subthalamic nucleus. Then next part we are going to see is zona incerta. Zona incerta. So zona incerta, it is nothing but a thin sheet of gray matter. Thin sheet of gray matter. We took a section, a coronal section, and we are observing this. Okay. So how can we identify zona incerta? Is it is a thin sheet of gray matter which intervenes between ventral nucleus of thalamus and the subthalamic nucleus. Between ventral nucleus of thalamus and the subthalamic nucleus. Between these two parts, we can identify zona incerta. Okay. So this zona incerta is continuous laterally with the reticular nucleus of thalamus. That I will show you at the time of the thalamus and the nucleus of the thalamus. Okay. So the area between zona incerta, try to see here. This is nothing but zona incerta. So the area between zona incerta and the thalamus, this part is called as field H1 or H1 of 4L, field H1 of 4L. So which is traversed by thalamic fasciculus comprising fasciculus lenticularis, ansa lenticularis, and dentatorubro-thalamic fibers. The next one is the area between zona incerta and the subthalamic nucleus. We can identify H2, field H2, this dot, which is nothing but field H2 of 4L. This is occupied, which is occupied by fascicularis lenticularis. Okay, then it is coming to this H2-4L. So the fibers we'll discuss about the H2-4L later. Next, other field is which is present between the area along the caudal margin of the zona incerta. Here you can see the caudal margin of zona incerta. This area is called as field H of 4L. It is also called as pre-rubral field. Pre-rubral field. So these three nucleus, the thin gray matters, field H1, field H2, field H of 4L. So field H of 4L, which is present at the caudal margin of zona incerta, H1-4L, field H1-4L, which is present between zona incerta and the thalamic nucleus, and field H2 is present between subthalamic nucleus and the zona incerta. That is about the nuclei which are present at the basal part of the cerebral cortex, basal ganglia. Then moving to the next one is the caudate nucleus. What is the shape of the caudate nucleus and lentiform nucleus? That we'll see now. Other thing before going to see that is the substantia nigra. Substantia nigra. So the substantia nigra, which is present, which is a thin sheet of pigmented nerve cells, extends along the entire length of midbrain, and its cranial end reaches close to the subthalamic nucleus. Substantia nigra intervenes between the basis pedunculi and tegmentum of midbrain. So again, I will explain you about this substantia nigra. You just remember, when you take a coronal section or when you take a transverse section, you can identify these basal ganglia or the basal nuclei. Okay, then moving to the caudate nucleus. So caudate nucleus, it forms an arched band of gray matter. Arched band of gray matter in conformity with the curvature of lateral ventricle. Let me show you this. Yeah, here you can see that. In this picture, we can identify this is nothing but the lateral ventricle. So here you can see the anterior horn of the lateral ventricle. This is the body of the lateral ventricle, posterior horn, and here you can see the inferior horn of lateral ventricle. This is nothing but the inferior horn of lateral ventricle. So the parts of the caudate nucleus caudate nucleus parts are head, body, and the tail. Remember, head, body, and the tail. So where is the head present, where is the body, and where is the tail? These parts are present. Now we'll see that. So head of the caudate nucleus, the head forms an enlarged anterior end which bulges into the floor of anterior horn of lateral ventricle. So try to identify here. So this is the head of the caudate nucleus, and this dark color one, which is nothing but the lateral ventricle. So head of the caudate nucleus, which is present in the floor of anterior horn of lateral ventricle. So it is a bulged part. It is a bulged part. Okay. So in this image, we can identify clearly the head of the caudate nucleus, which is a bulged part present at the floor of anterior horn of lateral ventricle. Then coming to the body of the caudate nucleus. This is the body of the caudate nucleus. The body extends backwards as a continuation of the head from the level of interventricular foramen of Monro. Let me show you that. Yes, here you can see the body. So the body extending at the level of the interventricular foramen of Monro, and it is extending posteriorly, and it is present at the floor of the central part of lateral ventricle. Whereas the head is present at the floor of the anterior horn of lateral ventricle, body is present at the floor of the body of the lateral ventricle. Understood? Then it is accompanied along the medial margin of striae terminalis. Here you can see the striae terminalis. Okay, another picture we can identify here is interventricular foramen. So along the floor of the body of the lateral ventricle, the body of caudate nucleus which is extending. I am showing you with the mouse. Exactly at this part we can identify the body of caudate nucleus. So at the level of interventricular foramina, it is starting. Head is continuation. So head continuation as the body, right? Then with which structures it is related to? Now I will show you. Here you can identify in this transverse section. We can identify the striae terminalis. Which is the white matter, the bundle of fibers which are extending from anterior to posterior. So that is nothing but the striae terminalis. Along with that, we can identify the body of the caudate nucleus is running, and it is also accompanied by a vein called as thalamostriate vein. We can identify the thalamostriate vein over here. Thalamostriate vein, right? Then, so both of which lodge in a groove between caudate nucleus and the thalamus. So this thalamostriate vein and the striae terminalis, they lodges in a groove between the thalamus and the caudate nucleus. Then the lateral margin of the head and the body of caudate nucleus are separated from the corpus callosum by fronto-occipital fasciculus. Yes, coming to the tail of the caudate nucleus, it runs downwards. Can you find the tail of the caudate nucleus over here? Yes, here is the tail of the caudate nucleus. It is running downwards and forwards along the roof of the inferior horn of lateral ventricle. Okay, so it is accompanied by striae terminalis on its medial side, close to the tip of the roof of inferior horn. The tail is continuous with the amygdaloid body. Okay, so that is about the tail of the caudate nucleus. Okay, then other connections of the caudate nucleus and connections of pallidum. These are the structures we are going to study in the next class. Even first we will discuss in the next class, we are going to discuss about the lentiform nucleus, and then we are going to discuss about the microstructure of corpus striatum, and then we are going to discuss about the connections of corpus striatum. Then after that we will see the lentiform nucleus and the connections of the lentiform nucleus, and last we will see the functions of the basal ganglia. Thank you, dear students.